What's going on, YouTube? AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock here with another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks Week. We're going to be going over the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 178, as well as results of our local and any more news that we have from Team Gradelock to your subscribers. So let's get right into it. Ride 178. Spoiler alert, you haven't seen the episode yet, please pause and close the video, go watch that episode, and then come back right here so we can discuss about it. Of course, if you don't want to do that, please click on the link in the description down below to get right to the results of our local. So we have here Ride 178, the island awaiting the wind. So now we get to see, oh, what is the big aha moment or eureka moment that Team Mate has in store for the rest of the season. Now, after they got their asses beat constantly without any such victory outside of Naoki actually winning against the Butler, who technically wasn't really part of the Quattro Knights, as we see here. But then we get to see, alright, you're going to need to do some training, but who are we going to think of? Well, we have Ren, who's probably off somewhere, maybe be a bit too busy to train, or maybe has some bad blood with some of the members, aka maybe Kamui. But in fact, we actually get to see another protagonist pop up, which just so happens to be Leon. Now, I'm not sure if Leon has been affected by the recent turn of events that have happened where everybody forgets Aichi, but maybe Leon actually has some sort of remembrance. Maybe it's because that he's in an isolated location right now. Maybe it could be that he was just lucky. But whatever the case may be, we get to see them train with the antagonist from Season 2, Aquaforce. And this is going to be pretty hype as we get to see what's going to be happening now. I think that this is a great episode for them to really just catch up and really get to what's going on right now. Now, pretty much when they get to the island, of course, greetings, you get to see, get some seafood for dinner, etc. And then they get to start training. Well, Kamui and Naoki end up going right into the whole training spiel, and they get their butts kicked. Well, especially Naoki, because you get to see a little of the unit that may have been featured in the Fighters Collection 2014 on behalf of Leon, because he had that 11K battle navy person, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, Naoki has been losing, and then, after a couple matches where he couldn't even get a win against Leon ends up like, okay, so what's the point? You know what? Here. You swim to that little island over there. I face you again. Let's try it. Alright. And the thing is, outside of them wanting to practice, it seems that, you have Kai, Misaki, and Mila that don't want to really be part of the whole training regimen, although Naoki and Kamui were really hyped up for it. Now, it's maybe they may have some training later, or maybe they just want to relax for a second first before they can actually get down and really start focusing on how they can become better players. Now, after Naoki has been given this task to go to this island, we end up seeing him trying to swim. Immediately, just take off all his clothes except for his swimming trunks. And he starts swimming, but he's swimming in place. And apparently the current is too strong for him to actually go through. And so he thinks of, okay, what else can we do about it? And then, he sees Charlene pretty much just fishing constantly, getting all these fish. It's going to be a feast for the seafood. Like a seafood buffet that she's trying to set up here, even though there's only maybe 8 people tops at this island. But anyways, we get to see here Naoki really starting to have a struggle now. And even when he tries to create this little boat or whatnot, and don't forget the Skype thing, that's usually me. And we see Kamui trying to come and help him as well, and even though they've been on a boat trying to do what they can to some comical results, we get to see nothing in particular for any progress. We really can't see any inch. Even when pretty much Naoki wants to springboard Kamui over to the island, it really didn't help out at all. So what can they think of? They've pretty much been depressed like that for the entire day. And of course you get to see some side stuff with, Misaki Kai's kind of I'll probably practice later sort of deal. And so as Naoki and Kamui just kind of sit there, kind of depressed, thinking, how in the world can we get through this? Naoki gets this aha moment. And he sees this little twig that's just floating along. But it's moving. It's actually moving a lot more than what, both Kamui and Naoki have been trying to do. And so we end up seeing, oh, I think I know what to do. They end up circumventing the entire course, or they kind of make the twig and just relax and let the wind carry them on. At least that's what my interpretation of the episode was. And after that, pretty much when, they were setting up for dinner for, Leon and the twins, we get to see, oh, both Kamui and Naoki end up having the fruit that is exclusive to that island. And it's kind of interesting vocabulary. He likes to bring that up too. And we get to see the actual match come place. And this is where you get to see the Aqua Force Legion, which is going to be a pretty hype moment. Of course, usual grade 1, grade 2 ride, hit, whatever. By the time we ride to the grade 3, we get to see at least a different Narukami unit that's been premiered here. At least in terms of the Legion skill. It seems like it's the same thing, but it definitely seems like there's something a little bit different about that. So, what we see here is people that soul charge upon Legion skill. And of course, this may be explained later on, but I definitely like to see, like, okay, why are we soul charging units here? So we get to see Naoki end up having this big play after, the Legion skill that Leon has, and technically so far, it's usually been the second player that does Legion wins. So we see Leon do his Legion, and it's pretty much a combination. It's not Tetra Drive Dragon in terms of skill. It does look like Tetra Drive Dragon, but it has the effect of the Break Ride in the Fighters Collection 2014, as well as maybe Maelstrom Reverse, without the lock. And so we get to see, alright, fourth attack or more, alright, boom, I get a crit, I get power, I retire a unit, I draw a card. That's pretty much a plus in almost every way imaginable right there. Because you have an extra damage, your opponent loses a unit, and you draw a card off of it before Twin Drive. So it's a guaranteed 3-card play. At least in terms of, your hand size. Now, we get to see this pretty broken. Naoki ends up with a quintet wall. Kind of guards off everything. Alright, cool. He's still at 4 damage. Naoki performs Legion, and he performs his play where apparently when he Legions, we get to see him take out 4 units at once. Not just 2, like what we've seen in the past in the season. We see him take out 4 units. One of which is the Vanguard, but still, taking out 3 units in 1 Legion attack. That is pretty silly. It's definitely depressing, especially if you're not like a Gold Paladin or Shadow Paladin player, because you're just losing a lot of field advantage off of that. And that's, I think, now Akami's really going to start really ramping up and really making an impact on the meta, especially when it comes here over to the States. And looking over what we have right here, wow, it seems like Leon really doesn't have anything else. However, the only problem is that Naoki has only put him to 5 damage. I think, yeah, he did get a critical trigger off of that, which Leon was at 3, but everything else was guarded. And then Leon goes again. Boom. He has everything for him. And he actually defeats Naoki. So I guess this kind of breaks the flow of, okay, people who usually perform Legion the second Legion would win. But, of course, it seems that we break that trend off immediately. Now, of course, Naoki is pretty depressed about this, but Leon kind of says, hey, yeah, at least kind of having a little bit more control over your feelings, because, of course, that can really influence the way how you play the game. Because especially somebody that's playing regularly, against somebody that's playing that's being taunted and trash talked, it definitely has a psyche on it. It's hard to really get back, especially when the person's sitting right in front of you, or standing right in front of you. And, of course, Naoki has some, little pep talk from Leon saying, hey, don't worry. You have it. You have a great play. 4 units in 1 attack, one of which is the Vanguard. That's pretty broken. That's pretty awesome. And you should be proud of that. Okay, awesome. And then we get to see the, the episode end there. And then we get to see the episode where Kai finally gets to practice after being pushed into the water, and even though his hair is just out there, it seems like it just got damp, and really didn't seem like he was in the water at all. Now, as we move on to the next episode, I feel like Kai probably going to come out with another Broken Legion unit that's probably going to end up replacing Thing Saver Dragon, but who knows? Maybe we're going to have an alternate unit, maybe we can have at least maybe 2 different ace units that can be pretty good in a Legion battle, but so far, it seems that it's going to be hype. I hope that we get to see what's going to happen next in terms of the legions for the other clans, especially when we see Masaki and Miwa. Which means that it should be Genesis and Kagero. If so. Now, this episode's been pretty good. I like how it's been going. And, yeah, I feel that, okay, now I get to see them actually starting to try and kick some ass. And hopefully we get to see the Quaternarians get a taste of their own medicine, but that's pretty much me talking right now. Of course, if you have any comments about the episode or whatnot, feel free to comment down below and get a conversation started. And now let's get right to the results of our local. And so myself, I haven't really participated in any of the tournaments this week because, of course, with the Friday to Sunday thing, I had a wombo combo of my mom's birthday, and then the day right after, it's Father's Day. So pretty much I had to, take a break for family this time. But I at least have some reports from Alex, who told me about the results from the tournaments on Friday and Saturday. Both of them were singles tournaments. I think on each day we had at least 10 to 12 people entering. So on Friday, we ended up having a whatchamacallit, let me just get the top 4 on Friday was actually Henry, Mike, Jason, and Christian. Henry got in with Chaos Breaker of Link Joker. We had Mike going in with the Wolfang of Garmor for the Gold Paladins. Jason with Avengers, and Christian with the Beast Deities. I'm not sure if it was Extreme or Ethics, maybe a mix. But on Saturday, we had a different crowd. Of course, with the top 4 there, with the 10 to 12 people that entered, we had Rob going with the Prisms of Bermuda Triangle, Joe M with Galaxy Ball Kruger of Nova Grappler. We had John with Chaos Breaker and Eric with Tetra Drive Dragon of the Aqua Force. So that's pretty good. We get to see at least a different clan top in each one. Of course, we get to see pretty much Chaos Breaker top both times, both of them of Team Gradelock. And we get to see at least Nova Grappler's top with different builds. One of it's with the Ball Kruger build, Archetype, as well as the Beast Deities getting a top spot, with the Gold Paladin and the Aqua Force getting their respective attention. So I thought that was pretty cool. In terms of just tournaments for the future, now let's actually see if we can get into some Vanguard news. I know that the hype that's really been generated, or at least left over from last week, was the fact that now we get to see if some of these units can actually be future-proof. Thanks to one of these units, it's a grade 1. It's probably going to be in multiple clans. It's actually a 7k, so it's a decent booster. And it says, continuous effect, you can pretty much perform a limit break skill when you're not at limit break. So it's pretty much say, alright, I'm at 3 or less damage. Oh, I can still break right. I can still do this and that and this and that. So therefore, you can actually get into limit break and really push games even faster. So I thought that, especially when you want to do a past deck from over the past year or so, you can, with running 4 of these grade 1s that can pretty much negate the limit break restriction, it's actually pretty interesting that you can actually start getting crits as fast as possible. And therefore, stuff like Bermuda Triangle, stuff like the Restanding Vanguards, outside of the end, of course, but break rights in particular, now it's going to be like Legion, where it's pretty much, I'm riding every time, I'm going to get pluses off no matter what, and we're going to see what happens. I think that at least if they come out as promos, or if they're going to be in set 16 or 17, it's going to be a very, very chaotic set. I think more chaotic than what we have now. Even though that, yes, we do have variety in the people that have topped, especially with the players that have topped on both Friday and Saturday. So I thought that was very good. But in terms of the Vanguard news, especially with this key unit that can come out and really help people say, hey, don't worry about the limit break that much. We want to at least see people keep on using limit break skills, but we're going to give you some help in order to say, hey, I'm at 3 damage, so you can't do the anti-limit break strategy on me at all, which is a strategy that a few of my teammates actually came up with a couple months ago. And of course, yeah, it's interesting because, you don't want them to break ride, but with this unit, it's going to be like, okay, I might as well just get in as much damage as possible. So it changes the mindset, negates that strategy, but I feel that's a very welcome change to the meta environment, because a lot of times when people play Vanguard, playing Vanguard is pretty much, alright, you're going to be going all out. When you're forced to make a play, especially when a Vanguard would attack a rearguard, unless it's the end or some other beneficial effect, it's not really something that people can kind of get into. Of course, it's not like the meta. Usually what people usually do, just hit the Vanguard as much as possible, or you can hit your rearguards every now and then. Well, unless you're playing something like the end, you really wouldn't have a Vanguard swinging on a rearguard, unless there's a really beneficial effect. Now, thing is also with some of the news that have been coming out recently, we get to see some stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh!, some Kaijudo, some Buddyfight. I know that a big news was that one of our newest teammates, Arturo, he was actually featured in the pack opening videos that actually called him Novell for Jason, and was successful. He actually won the Buddyfight Regional at Ohio with Magic World using the Wizards, and I give major props to him. I look forward to seeing that post from Bushiroad to see what exactly is going on in the Ohio Regional. And it kind of cements that, alright, Buddyfight's really starting to go at an alarming pace. Although with this recent news from Vanguard, especially with the grade 1, it is very key that we have a very interesting unit that can help the past decks to actually break the meta a bit more. And seeing that, okay, maybe we don't have just Legion units all over the place. We actually get to see some limit break units as well. So yeah, I decided to change out of everything because family went out. But anyways, in terms of the Vanguard meta, and at least what's been going on lately, after I put up the Unlocked Week episode, which would be sometime tonight, I'm actually going to see what I can do for the rest of the week. I know that I've been doing some stuff like streaming and getting other projects going for myself, and LSAT prep, working out, all of that good stuff. that I'm graduating from college. I'm trying to see what I can do with my life before I go back to the study habits. Now, anyways, in Vanguard, it seems that, yeah, crowds can die down a bit. But now, since it's already June 15th, hopefully around this time, a lot of the schools are already out. So therefore, maybe we'll see more tournaments during the week at Game On. Maybe we'll see even a surge of people coming on the weekends. I know that in the summer from last year, we had quite a number of people that actually, kind of came out, and we had, people we had 17 plus players come in, and we had to play 5 rounds. As exhausting as that may be, it's always fun because you still get to play, you still get to practice, you get to learn as much as you can. And I have yet to play a Novell player, so I want to see how I do against that. I know I played a Chaos Breaker Dragon player, and I know can't really do much with the Dimension Police unit. I feel just nervous trying to break ride freaking reverse Dayusha over, where even though it's a perfect guard, that's pretty much the minimum you need if I don't drive check a grade 3, because I already minus 2 grade 3s off of my own from the break ride skill, and I might have some in my hand, which can be some of the case. We'll see what we can do in terms of video projects though for the rest of the week. I know that hopefully this Saturday we'll get the team together. We'll see what we can do for Domino Paris 21's Vanguard discussion video. I'm gonna see if I can try and see if we can get the game on Wednesday or Friday, get some matches in. Because yeah, we do want to we have a lot to catch up on, and don't you worry. Now that at least this whole everything from Anime Next to the Wombo combo of Family Days, I'll be able to at least come back and say, hey, I have it. In addition, I also have a Twitch channel that I'll provide a link in the description down below, so you can visit every once in a while and follow, so when I can go streaming. And of course, I usually stream stuff like Hearthstone, League of Legends, and maybe WildStar. Those are the 3 games I usually do. Well, of course, we'll see if we can do some matches in Cardfight Vanguard and other trading card games as well. I know that Otto, one of the OGs of back when it was called Team Iron Man, he's back, and he's actually going to see if we can do some streams as well. So once he gives me some information, I can probably put up another video saying, hey, we have some streams going on. Feel free to just follow us. We should have a schedule up. And we'll have it all settled up by the end of the week, so we'll see what happens. But aside from that, this has been the 51st episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks Week. I am your host, AlphonZeus. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode, and I will see you all guys next time. Take care.